Darren Walsh here, and very excited to bring you the next episode of The Journey, which is with Robert Dunne. And Robert Dunne is a good friend of mine. He is Director of Sales, and one of the great things about Rob is he has become a master at selling. Now, we all want to get better at selling, right? And the amazing thing is that he just sticks with a couple of key principles, and it's not just all about selling, right? Which is what we always talking about. So Rob's going to share his, things that he does in order to be a very successful salesman. You know, he's director of sales at Savills. He is growing his market and his business, because he runs a business inside a business over many years. He has never taken a salary and always backed himself for what he can do. And we are very lucky for him to be able to share his knowledge and his little gifts and secrets, I suppose you could call them, with us today. So let's get into it. Rob Dunne, Director of Savills, and here is his journey.
All right, Darren Walsh here, and I have with me, actually in the same room, which is, I haven't done this before, I have with me Rob Dunne, who is Director of Sales at Savills. And Rob is, he probably wouldn't say it, but he is at the top of his game. He is a man who sells a hell of a lot of stuff. And we're all in the game of selling. So if we can't learn something from Rob, we're probably in a bad place, all right? So we're going to go through Rob's journey, how he got to be at the top of his game, and why he made some of the choices he made. And it's funny, we haven't done this. We are literally in the same room, but we're recording this. And let's head off now. Rob, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your journey. And before we get started, is there one thing that you could talk to me about, which if that had happened, it changed your journey? Like, what was instrumental in your journey that you've got to get where you are today?
Yeah. So there's someone I worked with for a long time, which is Paul McLean, and one of the things he always instilled in me and advised, and what I want to share with you now is to back yourself.
Yeah.
So the one thing I've been prepared to do is to understand and get clarity around, what I've got to offer people, who I can offer it to, and just go out there and do that as often as possible and help people, get what they want, so that I can get ahead.
Well, that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? Like, if we can be helping other people, it's going to turn around, isn't it? And we're going to get the same benefits from that.
Sure.
Rather than sort of chasing it for the sale or the money or the, whatever it is. It's just got to be about, the joint venture, I suppose.
Yeah, well, otherwise your narrows if your interests are too narrowly focused, and you're not making as good of decisions as if you broaden your focus and seek a higher purpose, you're getting better outcomes than just getting all about, your interests and what you want.
So it's not as level of thinking, right? Like, did you start out that way? Like, when you first started in the game, take us back then, like, what's the difference between what you like now and what you were like back then?
So I think I meet a lot of people and get an understanding of them, and some of it is, the age you were when you first got paid to do something, I think starts to influence who you are and the way you are and your work ethic. And so for me, that was when I was back at primary school. I saw a friend of mine come to school one day with a bunch of envelopes with money in it, and he was giving them out to these other friends, and I'm thinking, what's going on? And he said, they're working at a family nursery. And I'm like, well, I want to be part of that too. You can't leave me. That's where it all started.
That's where it all started. So you went and took a job at the family nursery.
Yeah.
And so now you're director at Savills, director of sales at Savills, and you're selling real estate.
Yes, sir.
But you're not selling real estate just to anyone, are you?
Well, it's not a residential role, it's a commercial role. So that tends to narrow the focus of both the clients you're dealing with and the type of properties you're selling. But it's like all professional services. You're just out there trying to help people have what they want and help them get that as easily as possible.
But I know you're being very kind there, but but I have talked to you a few times. You don't really work with absolutely everyone, so you pick and choose.
Yes,
and that's made you pretty successful, right? Because you've been able to work out who you actually can help the most.
Yeah. So I think it's mostly around getting clarity.
Yeah,
clarity about where you can add the most value, who's going to appreciate what you've got to offer. And when you get clarity around that, it makes that decision making a whole lot easier.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So that wouldn't have been an easy thing to work out, I imagine.
Yeah, I think once you get a little bit of success and you get into that survival mode, I've just got to survive, I've just got to get by.
Yeah.
You can start making better decisions, and you can start deciding who you really want to work with, and get clarity on what your target market is, where you can really do things. And I think puts you in a much stronger bargaining position with them and with the next potential client. And then that builds up a track record that can lead you into doing even more. So,
and I imagine they didn't happen immediately, right? Like took a little bit of time. Like, what was some of the decision you had to go through to work out? Well, actually, I don't like working here.
No, I can appreciate that. So we've got a term which is a bit coarse, but it's the no dickhead policy. So pretty much, we don't get on with everyone.
Yeah.
And if there's people initially we don't think aligned with our values and interests, we want to free them up to go and work with someone else, preferably another competitor. Keep them occupied for a while we go and look after the people that we get on go with.
It's interesting you say it. So in order to be able to make that decision, you actually have to have worked out first what your values are, first what you stand for, first what you want to be, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's, otherwise you can't possibly work out who you want to work with, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Darren Walsh here, and sorry to interrupt this great episode of The Journey. And I just wanted to say, hey, look, I'd love to hear your journey. What are you doing? How'd you get to where you are? What are you looking forward to doing? I'd love to hear it. There's a link under this button that you can connect with me, and I'd love to hear your journey. Share your journey with me, and let's see where you're going and what you want to do from here. So connect with me below. Jump on the link and let's have a conversation about your journey. Because that's what it's all about, where you're going. So click on the button below, and I'll let you get back into the journey with Rob. Cheers.
And that process in itself must be interesting to dig down into that and work with that out.
And if you'd like to, we can.
Yeah.
So the criteria we use to decide who to deal with, the first is we want people that have already decided to sell desirable property.
Yeah.
So we're not looking for people that are thinking of selling, or I might do something. We want past tense. We want them to already be past that milestone.
Yeah.
They've already decided they're doing something.
So you don't want to try and convince people is the right thing to do. You just want to say, yeah, you're ready, we're ready.
Yeah. And if they're not ready, then that takes time or resources or effort to get them ready.
Yeah.
We prefer them to get there in their own time.
Yeah. Talk to us when you're ready.
So first in the criteria is decided to sell. The second criteria is around desirable property. And for us, every property is capable of being sold. There's a price that comes at that. But generally, we want to be selling property where there's a depth of demand, not shallow demand.
Okay, so there's got to be a good enough market out there to be able to move that, move that side.
And then third criteria is they can trust us. They mightn't initially, they might know about us, but over time you get a sense on whether they're going to trust us and allow us to do what we do, add the value we can add. And that takes a leap of faith for them and a leap of faith from us. And we want people that are willing to do that, people that are going to hold back and not be prepared to.
And a bit of that is, like, you guys are the experts, right? You know what you're doing. You know what needs to be done to sell that property.
Sure.
So, you're looking for people who are going to allow you to do that, isn't it?
Yeah. So over the period of time I've been doing this we've asked a lot of questions, a lot of people, and we've finally got an understanding on what's working. And the foundation for trust we've found is around openness.
Yeah.
So when we meet someone for the first time, the kind of attitude we want to take to that meeting and we want them to bring to us is to be open to possibilities, not closed off about, having a blind side and not realising.
Yeah.
So being open is the first foundation of it.
Yep.
The second is being in tune. So, like when you're listening to the radio, you tune the radio in. Sometimes it's not tuned right, and you've got a bit of static. And you're not
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to be in tune.
Yep.
Make sure that, same when you meet your best friend, you don't have to do all this foreplay around,
Yeah. Just
you're in tune with each other.
Back into the zone.
That's right. And when you're open and in tune and at your most resource, you are in the zone. So people talk about being in the zone, or artists or athletes.
Yeah.
Talk about that kind of going with the flow. That's the kind of state we want to be in as often as possible with as many people as possible. And that's the kind of thing we're searching for every day. Yeah,
right. Let's go back to that the young boy who was, looked at the envelopes with the money in them and went, hey, this looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So you made a decision to take on a sales role with commission only.
Yeah.
And I've talked to you about this before, and you said that was my best decision I made. Yeah, that's what you said to me.
Sure.
And why is that? Like, why is it so good for you to choose commission only when a lot of people would scare them a lot, right?
Sure.
And as business owners, when business owners going, they're really choosing commission only, even though they don't know
yes,
it.
they are. But they're getting 100% commission, and they've got to find the customer.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it's less risky. You've diversified your risk. So rather than having one person you're working for, or your employer, and they pay you, one person.
Yeah.
If you've got 20 clients, you've got diversified risk.
Yeah.
So whether one drops off or not, you pick up another one. That's a lot less risky proposition than only one person.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it, because you are in a business, but you're your own business in a business, aren't you?
Yes.
And so you've grown from, being the one person who started, you've grown into a team now, haven't you?
Yes.
What was the deciding factor to bring the team in? Now, a lot of people, watching this and listening, they're at that point where they've been doing it all themselves and stuff, and they're probably terrified of putting on someone else.
Sure.
What was your decision? How did you decide now's the right time?
Yeah. So I think it's all around capacity.
Yeah.
As one person, there's only so much you can do. And you can't do business alone. You've got to collaborate with the client. You've got to collaborate with other suppliers. And whether some of those suppliers are staff or employees or people on your payroll, you still collaborate.
Yeah.
And so if you want the capacity to do a lot more work, if you want to put yourself in a position where you're in a strong bargaining position and able to choose to work with people or not work with people, you need resources to help you do that.
Need resources.
Yeah.
And has your team grown, or did you find that you had a certain size which was the best?
No. I think that the size of your organisation demonstrates how much demand has been for your services in the past. It doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be demand in the future. So bigger organisations clearly have had strong demand for service in the past. That's where they're building. And at the moment, we're just trying to add value every day. We're trying to identify more work than we can handle every day. So then we can choose to do which ones we focus on, which ones we don't.
It's interesting. You've said that a couple of times. So you focus every day on, I suppose you're referring there as lead generation, client generation, that sort of thing.
Very much.
So do you have particular habits that you put in place to make sure that you're focused on it? Because that's not an easy thing to do, right? Some people would think that's a lot of pressure on that, but I'm sure you don't feel the pressure.
No, it's a challenge. The exciting bit is hooking the fish and reeling it in. Once you've done that, filleting it and delivering it, that's a process. So you can get people to help support that. So the exciting challenge is identifying and converting opportunities, and that's what we're looking for all the time.
And what's some of the habits you've put in place to make sure you are doing that all the time? Right? So
back to what we described earlier about being in the zone, you've got to be open.
You
things are playing out.
Yeah.
And you just got to be focused on that every day. Who can I meet? Who should I be meeting? And we really focus on second phase.
Yeah.
So what we're doing now is leading to what we're going to do next. So our future business is going to emanate out of the work we're doing today.
Yeah.
So that's around repeat business with the current clients, referrals from other people.
Yeah. And that's the fun bit, right? To you, yeah. Like that's the fun bit. And then you leave the processing part, the filling of fish, to that team you've put around you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent. So as you've come through the journey, like what are some of the key things that you've learned that have set you up for the success you've got now? Right.
Yeah. I don't think you reach the peak, so it's a peakless mountain is what you're on. You're always trying to improve and get better.
Yeah.
And, I still make mistakes and you've got to learn from those. And that's the learning opportunity. It's all about fear of failure and those sort of things. I don't think it's that. You're either succeeding or you're learning.
Yeah, okay.
So every day we want to be learning. You learn more from the ones you miss out on, and you want to make sure you put improvements. We're great at shutting the gate after the horse is bolted. And if we keep doing that over and over again, and we keep making good decisions, then success is an accumulation of those good decisions.
Yeah, right.
It's an accumulation of good decisions over a long period of time.
Yeah. So, it's not like you're winning everything, but you're not failing because you're learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, I suppose if you don't learn, then it is a failure, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So it's always an opportunity to look back and see what happened.
Yeah.
And what about personally? How's that decision of getting into sales and stuff? How have you managed to achieve that balance in your life? Yeah, because you're pretty busy. Yeah.
I think you get freedom for that.
Yeah.
So working in the roles we do, being in professional services, is about earning as much as you can as efficiently as possible.
Yeah.
So that you got the time and money now and in the future to enjoy that. And, the motivation for me often is providing for a family.
Yeah.
I often say to people in our industry, as good as you think you might be, as successful as you think you are, when you've got a mortgage, you've got marriage, and you've got parenthood, they're way more useful to you, your family, your employer, and your clients than before then.
Yeah, that's right. Because there is a lot of people relying on you, to provide in many ways, not just from the sales point of view.
Well, you've got to rise to the challenge.
Yeah,
and become better as a consequence.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hey, Darren Walsh here, and sorry to interrupt this great episode of The Journey. And I just wanted to say, hey, look, I'd love to hear your journey. What are you doing? How'd you get to where you are? What are you looking forward to doing? I'd love to hear it. There's a link under this button that you can connect with me, and I'd love to hear your journey. Share your journey with me, and let's see where you're going and what you want to do from here. So connect with me below. Jump on the link and let's have a conversation about your journey. Because that's what it's all about. Where you're going. So. Click on the button below and I'll let you get back into the journey with Rob. Cheers.
So, you've sort of got through, a lot of your journey, building a team and all that sort of stuff. You've got some successes. I mean, what should most of us be doing that we really aren't? Like, most of us sort of think we're going okay, but there's normally something we're missing, that we need to be focused on. What do you think is common for most people when you see in sales?
And common for me too.
Yeah.
So it's just applying the fundamentals consistently on a daily basis.
Fundamentals. So what are they to most people?
Well, the fundamentals for us is having clarity about what we have to offer, who we can offer it to, and how we offer it, and doing that as often as possible.
Yeah.
But I think the real clarity comes around understanding where you can add the most value and who's going to truly appreciate what you've got to offer.
So that's the biggest thing. Like I talk to people about their avatar, who are they serving?
Yeah.
What are they set up to do? And what are they going to offer people when they meet someone? So that's that clarity you're talking about. That's the fundamentals. We need to know that first, and people can tend to jump forward, don't they? Tend to jump ahead of that and go, okay, well, I'm just going to sell something.
Yeah.
So that's I do see that a lot. Yeah. So it's interesting that you still stick to that one fundamental of knowing who do I actually want to sell to.
And it's generally the people you're already dealing with.
Yeah.
And you want to do repeat business with them, and you want to do business with people like them. And
so it's a lot easier, isn't it?
Into tangents, into other markets, different geography or different industry or different style.
Yeah.
Most of that change is going to come organically. So all change is either evolutionary, small steps over a long period of time, or revolutionary, you try to take big steps and big change.
Yeah.
It's a combination of both, but generally you're trying to keep emanating out from what you're already doing if you're doing it well. Yeah,
that's good points. And what would you say to those people who sort of, they think they're on the right track? Yeah, they've been going pretty hard, but they're just not hitting the numbers. They're just not hitting getting the results that they think. Yeah, what would you be your advice to them to say, hey, do this?
Yeah, so some of that is you're working in the business or on the business.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to take that step back and, at each opportunity we do a bit of a debrief and say, well, what could we do better? What could we improve?
Yeah.
But invariably it's making good decisions. So not doing things that are low probability of succeeding and then making sure the things that are working, you're doing them more consistently. And it comes back to getting up volume, So usually people that feel they're doing well and are struggling, their best 4 or 8 hours a week are probably industry leading.
Yeah,
it's their least productive 20 hours a week. It's the real worry. Find that least productive 20 hours a week, stop doing things that people aren't appreciating, and start getting back to those productive times and do them more consistently. You can't just do more. You can't go from where you are and add on bits. Otherwise you're just working ridiculous hours.
Yeah.
You've got to start.
You're not getting the results anyway.
You've got to prune off the bits that are unproductive to create capacity to then be able to push forward and do the things you are doing well.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good advice. So what are your plans for the year ahead? When you look at 2020, how do you continue to grow your success this year? Do you do new things? Is it continuation of last year? What is it?
Yeah, well, we're focused on that evolutionary growth, so small improvements over long periods of time, and you keep doing that. And it's hard for people to just step in and from day one and replicate that. You built up something you're well invested in, that the market's engaged in, and that's a good thing. So I will continue what we're doing, which is serving the markets we are, and keep looking for new business. If you've got a business that isn't growing, if a significant portion of your business isn't new business, then you're in trouble because you need that fresh blood coming in. You're on the way out at the end of your career. On the end of their career, you want to keep going.
Yeah, that's right. And one thing you said there, it's interesting that if you just take those small steps, incremental steps, it ends up being a big result, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Yeah. Excellent. Look, so one of the things that I always ask people is, if you could go back in time and talk to the younger version of yourself, how old would you be and what would you say?
We'll go back to that primary school version, and give the advice Paul McLean gave me. Back yourself.
Yeah.
Get clarity about what it is you've got to offer. Keep adding value to people and keep doing it. People appreciate that, and good things come from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I don't think we went too much over time, but always get stuck with time. But Rob, been fantastic, and just some of those points you've raised there, I think everyone's going to learn a lot from, and I really appreciate giving you your time for everyone to listen to the journey, and hopefully they'll take some things out of it and grow their sales and their business.
I appreciate what you're doing, Darren, and I'm glad you're sharing your journey with people too, and I hope they appreciate that.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Pleasure, mate.
All right.
Hey everyone, now that was an amazing journey, wasn't it? Well, I suppose we didn't get into a lot of his journey. We got really, we really dug deep into what Rob how Rob goes about his sales, and how he makes sure that he's always in tune with his clients and who they are and what they need, which really we can all learn a lot from, right? It's not just about the selling, it's about getting in tune, getting in sync. So I hope you got a lot from that. Look, if you felt that was valuable, look, please subscribe. Jump into our Seeking Business Autonomy if you're not there already, and make sure that you make yourself known. We want to make sure that every business can have a business that runs even when they're not there, and you can start attracting clients just like Rob does with his business. Thanks for joining me for this journey, and let's look forward to the next journey coming up in just a few weeks. Cheers.